It is now 11 p.m. in the East, 8 p.m. in the West, and Newsmax TV's coverage of tonight's first presidential debate of the 2016 general election campaign between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton continues. And we welcome you into the conversation at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. We want to know who you think won tonight's debate. And to let us know that, you can go to this website, newsmaxpolls.com. That's newsmaxpolls.com, where you can let us know who won tonight's debate. I am pleased to be joined tonight, again rejoined from Newsmax New York by our own Steve Malzberg for the eponymously named Steve Malzberg Show, which you see each weeknight here at 7 p.m. and again at 10 p.m. Eastern. From Newsmax Washington, my old congressional colleague Michael Patrick Flanagan is standing by. And we hope in mere moments we will also be connected with our good friend Michael Reagan from out in Southern California. So Steve Malzberg, when we were talking to Dick Morris before the break, it seemed there was a lament of missed opportunities and also a lack of discipline that apparently Mr. Trump brought to his unique preparation process. You want to expound on that anymore?
Yeah, I think going in, the big question, was which Donald Trump would we get? I think we got a presidential Donald Trump. I didn't like the, talking into the microphone with the one words wrong and all that stuff while she was talking. Could have avoided that. But more importantly, I think we got a Donald Trump who held his own, but missed great opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, as we've discussed when it came to no Benghazi mention. Just the only email reference was, you want me to show you my tax returns? All right, you show us the 33,000 emails. He could have talked only emails on the whole issue of cybersecurity, how knowing what a mess cybersecurity is, how she was reckless and careless, and what the FBI director said. Nothing on that. This birth certificate birther issue was ridiculous to be brought up in the first place. He didn't do a great job of explaining that. He started off with Sid Blumenthal, McClatchy. Now, I know that story, and I was hoping someone would bring it up, but he didn't explain it correctly. He just didn't do a good job of explaining the issues, of coming back to her and taking her to task on her emails, on Benghazi, and on, he said he was going to say something, bad about her family, but it was so bad he couldn't do it in response to her bringing up the horrible things he said about women. So that was kind of all over the place. And then on this issue that he kept saying, I forget now which one it was. Oh, is he for the Iraq War, against the Iraq War? He kept saying, ask Sean Hannity, ask Sean Hannity. He repeated it like 10 times. I mean, not one mention of the word Benghazi, but 10 times Sean Hannity on this stupid, was I for the war? He should have said, I wasn't a politician. I was hesitant. I said no, but no, and that could have been it.
Well, you are cataloging this becomes Trump agonistes tonight, these missed opportunities. Let us go, because we have made connections in Southern California with the son of the great communicator. Michael Reagan joins us now via Skype from Southern California. Mike, your dad set the gold standard both in terms of policy and also in debates. And if he had a down night, as he may have in that first debate with Walter Mondale in '84, he came back strong in the second debate. Your assessment of Donald Trump, and do you believe that he missed his opportunities tonight?
Well, first of all, I had Sean Hannity in the drinking game, so I'm way ahead of everybody else. So,
well, it's amazing you're coherent enough to continue
this. If you follow me on my Twitter account, at Reagan World, Donald Trump probably won the first 15 minutes when everybody thought he was on cocaine, because he was sniffling so much during that first 15 minutes. I'll give it to him. But I will tell you, Hillary Clinton won the last hour of the debate. Donald Trump lost the debate. He's going to have to do something in order to come back in a second debate. And I think all the polls will show that, in fact, you're right. He missed a lot of opportunities tonight. He went on too long about the birther issue, too long about a lot of issues he didn't need to get into. He's the one, you can't blame Lester Holt for not bringing up things. In fact, he didn't bring up much himself, Donald Trump, any new stuff that we haven't already heard on the campaign trail. So tonight, I give it to Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Michael Patrick Flanagan, you had a very different point of view. Explain to our guests and reiterate for those just joining us why you were very comfortable with Trump's performance tonight.
I was, and I'll tell you why. I didn't want to go home tonight thinking to myself, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Oh my God, I can't believe he went on and on about that. Oh Lord Almighty, what did he say now? I got none of that tonight. I got a guy who looked presidential. You can be a little cranky that a businessman didn't have the correct political speak and the right political answers to a lot of political questions, and I agree with you on a lot of them, Steve, and
Michael.
all of our guests tonight. But I will say this. No, Michael, I have another issue with. I don't think Trump lost. Trump had one goal tonight, and that was to appear presidential. He did that in spades. He managed it brilliantly, and he did it well. Hillary had one goal tonight, and that was not to look like a train wreck. And she looked great, too. I think both of them came in with their plan to accomplish what they needed to, and both of them did what they were going to do tonight. And I think they both walked away with what they needed their campaign to have them do, and I think they're fine.
Go ahead,
Let me tell you
Michael.
what's going to come out of this. Here's what's going to come out of the debate. The line that's going to come out of the debate tonight is going to be, while he's in the middle of a rant saying that she doesn't have the temperament that he has to be president of the United States. It was a laughable moment when he said that, and everybody laughed because he was in the middle of a rant. Let me tell you, that's going to come back, and that's going to be part of a campaign ad at some point in time about from Hillary to Donald Trump, and people will be talking about it all day tomorrow on talk radio.
And we'd love to hear you talk about your perceptions of tonight's debate at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Steve Malzberg, part of this seemed tonight to me to be in stark contrast to necessarily a rant. Mr. Trump believing that the more he said, the more he helped his case. For example, you offered the zinger that he brought up in terms of saying, you know what? I'll release all that when you release the emails. There was spontaneous applause, and that was the time to stop. But it's as if, again, with a lack of training in a debate format, he just felt, okay, that went well, let me continue to speak. So part of this wasn't so much a rant as it was, I believe, Michael Patrick Flanagan puts it, a lack of political familiarity with the format. But I would imagine Steve Bannon and Kellyanne Conway are going to say, hey, Mr. Trump, now do you see why we advocate practicing the format you're going to use? Do you think he'll listen this time?
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, you know, I've been told, which is no great secret, he doesn't listen to anybody. But it's obvious, you know. Now, if we look at this, and you told me that some businessman who has no debate experience one-on-one for 90 minutes under the pressure of 100 million people watching, I know he's a reality TV star, that notwithstanding that, would get out there and come out of the box and score point after point after point on business, on jobs, on the economy, and do well on law and order, and do well on the problem of race in this country, defend himself on accusations against him on race, you know, and racial issues, etc. You'd say, wow. I mean, this novice did pretty good. So you could look at it that way. I guess I don't know how the average person who has not paid attention until now and seeing Donald Trump for the first time really in depth is going to react. Will he say, oh, what happened to Benghazi? Oh, why didn't he go after her on this? Why didn't he go after her on that? Why didn't he press on the emails? Maybe it doesn't matter to them, but maybe because you and I know too much, we're frustrated.
Well, let's go to someone who is calling in to offer his point of view at 1-877-NEWSMAX to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Bill, who are you going to show love to tonight in terms of the presidential debate?
Donald Trump.
And why is that, sir?
Well, because Donald Trump is a business person, and you have to run this country like a business. You might sound not presidential, but he sounds intense. But that's how business people are. We're intense. We want to get things done, and that's what you need to get done. You can't just let it not get done. Clinton really just wants to get there to say, well, she's the first woman president. But whatever she says, she's never going to do it. And that's how these professional politicians are. That's why you must elect somebody like a business person, like Donald Trump, and he's proven that he can get things done.
Let me turn to Michael Reagan in Southern California. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
No, but when Hillary Clinton says you never paid federal income taxes, he says nothing. In passing over her, he says that's smart. Or he has to say, look, to everyone out there, I followed the law, and if my accountants can make it so that I don't pay any taxes under the law, you should want my accountant. There's nothing wrong with that, Hillary. You would do the same thing.
Let's turn
But
to
he didn't
Michael
explain
Reagan
that.
for the view.
So now
from...
people think, yeah.
Good deal.
Or the other line, Steve, is when she was talking about him building his business on the backs of people who lost their homes, and he leaned into the microphone and said, that's just the way business is done. You know, there's things he can't do. If I were training him, you know, I would sit him in a room and make him look at the facial ways he was listening to Hillary Clinton, the way he was responding facially without saying a word. Because as much is said in a debate with your mouth closed as with your mouth open, and if I had to give the debate just on that tonight with nobody saying a word, just facial alone, I'd have to give it to Hillary. She looked much more presidential there listening to him than he looked presidential listening to her.
Michael Reagan tonight from Southern California. Michael, we appreciate your thoughts. Steve Malzberg from Newsmax, New York, as always, thank you. Michael Patrick Flanagan, hang in there in Newsmax, Washington. We've got a few more things we have yet to talk about as we reconcile that unique political journey we have taken, running for public office, being involved in debates, and also taking into account what the electorate has to say. You can call us at 1-877-NEWSMAX and let us know what you think, 1-877-639-7629. There is more of our post-debate special coming up.